Keys to Success, number 127. Dr. Martin Rutherford, certified functional medicine practitioner and chiropractor.
Dr. Randall Gates, board certified chiropractic neurologist, also a chiropractor.
So we're grasping for straws today. But what we're going to talk about is we see a lot of people come in with chronic stress responses. I mean, it is a strange day when somebody comes in and they're not in some sort of a fight-flight pattern. And a lot of folks that have those patterns relative to being perfectionists, a lot of them have it due to being type A's and very motivated and all that type of stuff. And I know throughout history I've had some of those tendencies. I mean, I really truly don't have them now, but I understand what they are and understand how they go. I also have celiac in addition to a lot of things. A lot of you know that I've had, but celiac is really the key for me. I mean, it makes you like super sensitive. You got a permanent leaky gut. You got to be very careful, those types of things. So I do this for a living. I listen all day long to people who tell me about, their diets and I admonish them and that type of thing. But the reality is I'm a real human being too. The other night I'm at the opening day of the baseball game, and it's the Aces, and the only thing that they have on the whole menu that I can eat is a salad with a dressing on it that I can't eat. So and I haven't eaten. So I'm like, okay, do I like fast or do I eat? So I justify it to myself and go, well, if I'm going to eat gluten, and I already had something. No, I probably shouldn't even tell people this, but I already took something called gluten flam.
Oh boy. I say oh boy because now all of you are going to ask me for gluten.
But this is only for people who've been off the program for a long time. This is a preventative, and I took it with me just in case. So I did take it. Didn't work. So there. So it didn't work. So I thought, well, let me have the French fries. And I knew the French fries because I already asked last year that they're done. So I ate the French fries. And then my old perfectionist tendencies came out, or my old whatever you want to call them. And I sat there and I beat myself up during the whole game. This is what I tell patients every day. I tell them not to do this. I'm an idiot. Is any of your patients around watching me eat these French fries? And so much for the game. And I paid for it. And I want to get into how I paid for it. But I know how to get out of it within a day or two. But just those French fries the next day, I was a little dull. It was actually, but celiac's a different animal in a sense that it's way more different than, so you're really super hypersensitive to even little bits of gluten, and it's something you really got to be careful of. But the point is I beat myself up, and then the next day I got up and went, okay, this is a lifetime thing, and I just have to realize that, I'm not perfect. I have to have a little compassion for myself. I'm pretty good about this. And I have no diet. I don't eat meat. You've heard me. I don't eat meat. I don't eat gluten. I mean, there's other things I can't eat. My diet is so thin, and that's not an excuse. I'm just saying that every now and then I'm like sitting there and I go, I got caught somewhere a couple months ago, and there was nothing to eat. I was in a restaurant. It was crazy, and I ate. I forget what I even ate. It was something little, and I paid for that. So it happens to me a couple times a year. And but the thing I want to say is I listen to people go, I got off of it, and then it was just like, oh well, I ate that, so I may as well eat this, and I may as well eat that. Then they get guilty, then they got off of it, and then they don't get back on it. And they don't get back on their diet. And there's this whole cascade, and I've heard all kinds of different reasons. They're depressed, they just don't feel strong enough. A lot of people, especially during the program, aren't strong enough. It's a big part of the reason why they're there. And my understanding is that these weekly meetings go a long way because it kind of keeps them accountable. Motivated. Accountable was the term that Kevin, our producer, used. And so that's helpful. So maybe, you look for things that need to be accountable. I had two things. First of all, I hate being sick. Okay. And it's stupid that, a teeny little thing of French fries for $8 and be sick for a day or two, okay? But I hate not feeling good. I hate not coming in here and being sharp. And I hate the fact that, this is what I do. This is what I do for a living, and then I get guilty, and then I feel depressed. Well, maybe I don't feel depressed, but I feel kind of, like, I should have done that. Angry. I actually would be more angry with myself or something like that. So, but I have an understanding of this is my life. And my life is, this is what I have to eat and this is what I have not to eat. If I want to stay healthy, if I want to live a long, healthy life, if I want to feel good, if I want to have good brain function, if I want to have good bowel function, and that's what I want. I don't want to do it. So for me, that's enough to hold me accountable too. So I have them both. I have the accountability and I have the emotional trauma from it. But whatever it is, you need to find something that stops it right in there. And gluten, and I mentioned the gluten flam because it doesn't do it. People there, gluten flam is a mushroom-based enzyme that supposedly is going to break up the gluten and you're going to be able to eat. There was a famous guy named Dr. Whitaker. He's still famous, right? And when that came out, the gluten flam, he put out a mailer to everybody in the country saying, if you get this, you can eat that and you'll be fine. We had a lot of patients who got that mailer and they weren't fine, just for the record. Okay, right. That's why Dr. Gates said that. Right. So don't go come in asking him for that if you're on the program, and don't use it as a preventative. The reason I mention I use it as a preventative because I'm celiac.
Right. That's
a big difference from being gluten sensitive. Okay, and so I actually use it as a preventative. It still didn't work. So the point is the preventative is don't eat it. But it's going to happen. There are some patients who seem to me like they just will never eat this again. And I actually look at them and marvel at them if it's true, if they're not fibbing to me. Mm-hmm. But it's hard. It's hard. It's hard to be a vegetarian in this country. It just is. It's getting easier, a little teeny bit easier. But if you're going to be a vegetarian and gluten-free, that gets a little harder, because of different things that are mixed in with the vegetables and sauces and all that type of stuff. So it's a challenge. It's a challenge socially. It's the whole thing we've talked about. But it seems like people like to hear my vulnerabilities or our humanity, and just know we're all struggling. We're all struggling. It's a challenge. It's not like it's easy for everybody. So that's why we have the Facebook group. That's why we do these clinical pearls, to let you know you're not alone. You're not the only one. It's hard, and I know it's hard from personal experience. And so so basically you need to develop some tools. Look, if anger does it, that's fine. It's probably not the best way to do it. If just an overwhelming desire to be well does it, that's good. Compassion, maybe have a little compassion for yourself, as opposed to just beating yourself up and realizing, look, I've been gluten-free 99% of the time and I did this. Wow, that's pretty good. Let me get back to the 99% of the time. Whatever works for you. There's probably a zillion motivational things online somewhere that you could look at and as to how to motivate yourself to do anything. But it's more like when you failed and you consider it a failure. But I don't know. Overcoming our sensory perceptions is pretty difficult. We are sensory beings. We live by sight. We live by taste. We live by touch, by feel, by sight, and all that type of stuff. So, okay. So I'm getting a signal. I'm going on and on. I got to stop. Fair enough. Okay. So we'll see you next week with another one, and I hope that helps. All right.
I think that was good.
Okay. Take care.
Bye.